Hi friends, and welcome to the last section in chapter 8. We are going to solve two-step equations. So first, let's just remember our goal of algebra. The goal is to get the variable alone, or as I now refer to it, to get the variable alone. Sure, it's faster, right? And remember, how do we get the variable alone? We undo the math that's with it. Okay, first move addition and subtraction, then multiplication and division. Okay, and then because this is an inequality, we have to remember the rule that we learned the last time. Super important. If you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative, you must, throw your pencil. You must flip the inequality sign. Okay, flip the inequality. I guess I could just put that instead of sign. Flip the inequality. My lead is running out. Okay, so that's basically it. We're basically taking everything that we've done in this chapter and putting it all together. So let's see what this looks like. All right, we're going to start with 3x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 16. 3x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 16. Okay. All right. So first we're going to get rid of the addition or subtraction, or in other words, we want to get our constants all together. So we have a plus 4 with our variable. To get rid of that, we do a minus 4, 3x. We haven't done anything to change the inequality. 16 minus 4 is 12. And now we've got 3 times x. To undo multiplication, we divide both sides by 3. Those turn into 1. And x, do we need to flip the inequality? No, because we divided by a positive. So that stays the same. We've got x is greater than or equal to 4. Dun, 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 dun. And then just because we like to graph our inequalities, because it gives us a nice visual of what it means. Okay, so first of all, is it going to be an open or a closed dot? Because it's or equal to, it's going to be filled in. And then if we read it, it says x is greater than or equal to 4. That means the stuff that's bigger than 4. Or you can use, since the variable's on the left, you can use the trick that says we color it that way. I should get my colored pencils. Meh, that's all right. All right, and there we go. That's it. We're just putting all of it together. We shall practice a few more. All right, negative 2x plus 8 is greater than 24. Negative 2x plus 8 is greater than 24. Okay, so we're just going to follow the same exact steps this time. We have an 8 to subtract from both sides. So we have negative 2x is greater than 16. Excuse me. And then to get the x alone, we're going to divide by negative 2. Ding, 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 ding. We're dividing by a negative. Danger, Will Robinson. All right, so our x stays the same. We divided by a negative so that the greater than becomes a less than, and that becomes a negative 8. Okay, woo, that was exciting. I know you liked my alarm, I'm sure. Okay, I'm just going to call that negative 8. Sure. Open circle or filled in. This time it's going to be open because it's not or equal to. And then again, if we use our little arrow trick, we're going to fill to the left. Or if we just read it, x is less than -8. Stuff that's less than is to the left. All right, we're just plugging right along. I love algebra. That's so satisfying to me. Feels good. Showing your work. Normal years, I get really forceful about making people show their work. This year with the digital learning and stuff, we're all doing our best. All right, 8 minus x over 3 less than or equal to 7. All right, so 8 minus x over 3 less than or equal to 7. Okay, still first thing we want to do is get rid of the constant, the number that doesn't have a variable next to it. So right now we have a +8. To get rid of +8, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. That turns into 0. Do not lose that. Negative or minus, we still have negative x over 3 less than or equal to 7 minus 8 is -1. And now this gets a little tricky, right? Because nobody likes fractions. We've got x over 3. That means dividing, right? How do we undo division? We multiply. And we want to get rid of the negative as well. We don't want to have a negative x. So we're going to multiply by -3. Multiply by -3. Okay. And then alarm bells are going off because we're multiplying by negative. -3 divided by -3 is 1. We're left with x. We have to flip our inequality because we multiplied by a negative. -3 times -1 is +3. Okay, and if we graph this one, okay, open circle or filled in circle. That's going to be filled in because it's or equal to. And then x is greater than or equal to 3. Or if we fill in the arrow, we fill to the right. So the stuff that's bigger. All righty then. One more than a couple story problems, and we'll be done. All right, 7 minus 2x is greater than 11. 7 minus 2x is greater than 11. This one is fairly similar to the one before. It's just we don't have a fraction. So we're going to subtract the 7 first. And we get -2x. Again, don't lose your negative. Is greater than 4. And now we have multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we're going to divide. And we get x. We divided by a negative, right? So we have to flip the sign. And 4 divided by -2 is -2. Okay? Not going to graph that one because I want to save some space for some story problems. Halfway through the bowling league season, good old Stuart, has 34 strikes. Halfway through the bowling season, he has 34 strikes. He averages 2 strikes per game. Write and solve an inequality to find, how many more games it will take for Stuart to have at least 61 strikes, which is the league record. Okay, so we're okay to have 61. We want to tie the record, if not beat it. So the at least means we want the 61 to be the smallest thing. Okay, 34 isn't going to change, so that's our constant. We're going to have a plus 34. And then looking at this, he averages 2 strikes per game. So to do that, we can call it 2s. Or 2g for game, or 2x, or 2n, whatever variable you want to use. Okay, but that's going to be the multiplication bit in our inequality. So let's write this down. We're going to call this one, let's see, he started out with 34, right? 34 strikes, plus 2 strikes per game, and we want that to be bigger than or equal to the 61, which is the strike record, okay? So that's how to set it up. I think that's the hardest part. Now we're to solving. So we're going to, again, get rid of the number that doesn't have a variable next to it first. Minus 34, minus 34. 2g is greater than 27. So we're going to divide by 2, divide by 2. G is greater than or equal to, and if we actually do this division, it comes out to be 13.5. So he's going to have to play 13.5 games, most likely to match or beat that strike record. Okay, if we rounded that up, he'll probably play 14 games and he might beat it instead of matching it. Well, there you go. Okay. One more, I'm going to squeeze it in right here so we get all the notes on one page. One more story problemo. To practice interpreting, a rental car company charges $45 plus 20 cents per mile to rent a car. So as we're thinking about this, the price for renting a car is going to be $45. That's going to be your constant, not have a variable next to it. And then because this one's per mile, we're going to have 0.2 times m for miles, okay? So I'm going to write that down. We have 45 plus 0.2 m. That's our first bit of information. Then it says Mr. Lawrence does not want to spend more than $100. Okay, so this is the biggest that we want the thing to be. Is he okay if we spend $100? Right, and solve an inequality to find out how many miles he can drive and not spend more than $100. I think he can spend $100, and that's okay. So I'd call that an or equal to, and we want what we spend, which is all of this, to be less than or equal to $100. Okay, minus 45, minus 45, 0.2 m. We haven't done anything to change our inequality, and that's going to be 55. And then we divide by 0.2. Divide by 0.2. Do we need to change our inequality? Nope, because we did not divide by a negative. So we've got miles need to be less than or equal to. This part I definitely will do on a calculator. 55. Actually, I'm going to check my other one just to make sure. Yep, 55 divided by 0.2. And we get 275 miles. So he needs to drive less than 275 miles to keep his cost less than $100. Welcome to being an adult. It's hard. Okay, that is solving inequalities and two-step inequalities. Good luck, have fun, make good choices. Bye.